So it finally happened. I actually bought a 6D. It's been so many years that I have thought of buying one, but always either the price has been too high or I just haven't had the money whenever a good deal has popped up. But I finally found a 6D that fit my budget, and I think and this 6D actually fits everyone's budget because I managed to get this completely free. So I found this listing online, and it was a 6D and the Tamron 28 to 75mm lens for €100. The description said that the camera is locked into manual mode and you're unable to change it to anything else. And also the shutter count is high, and the condition might not be the best. But the lens condition looked really good, so I bought it with the lens for €100 and €10 for shipping. And when I got the camera, it looked pretty good actually. This is the camera. You can see the physical condition. It's not too bad actually. While the 28 to 75 isn't a bad lens per se, but I kind of needed the money, so I decided to sell the lens immediately. I managed to get €120 for just the lens. So in the end, this camera was completely free, and actually I got paid €10 to have it. So that's probably the cheapest camera you will ever find. I have actually done this thing so many times that I find some good deal on camera and a couple of lenses, and then I sell like the lenses to someone else. I'll have the camera for free, or I sell the camera and the lens and have a free lens. It's actually a good tactic, and it's quite common to find these like package deals. So my 6D has a shutter count of 200,000, which is quite high, but I can't complain. It was a free camera after all. The mode dial was supposed to be locked into manual mode, but what I did was I just pressed this like the center button down, and now I'm able to change the modes just fine. So in the end, that wasn't really a problem. Other than that, this camera is perfectly fine and functions just like any camera. Everyone likes to compare the 6D to the 5D Classic, and I don't own a 5D Classic right now. I sold mine in the beginning of summer because I needed some money. But I have used a 5D Classic so much that I remember what it's like. I have actually owned four of those, and I know that one day I will buy another one. 5D Classic is it's like a beast. It's like completely metal, and the 6D has the top part of the camera is made of some plastic, but I don't mind that because it brings the weight down. And 6D is actually probably the lightest Canon full-frame DSLR out there. The build quality is perfectly fine. Yeah, 6D is like a younger brother with more features, more like up to date to today's society. I wrote some thoughts on my notepad. Let's see. I haven't owned this camera for that long, actually 3 days or 4 days now, 4 days probably. But I've already taken quite many photos, and I quite like some of them, so there's gonna be good amount of sample photos in this video. The color profiles in Lightroom for the 6D they're quite weird, because there's like camera standard, there's camera landscape, camera vivid maybe, no, something like this, and they all look so different, like the greens and the reds and blues, they're so different to each other, and so I'm not sure which profile I should use. So far I think the standard is the best, and that's the one I've used for most of my photos. I think this is like good mix between like modern mirrorless cameras with like advanced autofocus and all the features. Good mix up between that and something like the 5D Classic, which is super basic, but it has all the bare bones features. I like the grip on the 6D better than 5D Classic. Maybe something to do with this part, just fits your hand better. All the photos in this video are taken with this lens. It's an Nikon F-mount 35mm f2 lens, and it's quite a good lens, even though the corners aren't sharp. So no matter how much you stop the lens down, the corners will always be a bit soft. But who cares? It's not really about... We're not pixel peepers. I don't think so. Because I have to use the Nikon F to EF mount adapter, the lens markings for focus distance are not accurate anymore. So that's a bit of a pain in the ass, especially with street photos, because you don't have the time to focus most of the time. So you have to kind of, in your back of your mind, have like 2 meter means actually 4 meters, and something between 5 and 3 is infinity, and stuff like this. But after you use it like this for a while, I think it's gonna be easier. What I notice, and this is not really something that only happens with the 6D, it's actually a thing with, I think, even with 5D Classic and stuff. If you stop the lens down like past 5-6, the camera will start to overexpose your images. So I just dial the exposure compensation to -1 EV, and that has fixed that problem. I don't get those overexposed images anymore. One feature I do like about 6D is having auto ISO. It's actually the only feature I miss with 5D Classic. Auto ISO is nice for sure, but you know, you can live without it. I know some people have talked about this on YouTube, and it's true that the 6D files are, even though the resolution is 20 megapixel versus 13 on the 5D Classic, the files actually look sharper on the 5D Classic. That's kind of interesting. Having live view is super nice actually, because sometimes if you're not doing street, you want to have the focus nailed perfectly, and having like this magnify feature is so helpful. So you can just zoom into 10 times and just you see when it's sharp, and you can take the picture. So I definitely like live view for checking the focus, but for anything else I don't really use it. I can't really comment on the autofocus performance because I only tried a couple of pictures with the Tamron 28-75, but I feel like it's a very basic autofocus system, probably gonna be similar to the 5D Mark II or 5D Classic. I think it's 9 points or something. The 6D can actually shoot video, and it doesn't even look that bad. But of course, you don't have any stabilization, so you need a tripod or lens with image stabilization, and it's 1080 only. You can shoot 24, 25 or 30 FPS. I forgot to talk about the colors, and the colors are really good, I think. They're about what you can expect from these older Canon DSLRs. They are super nice and easy to play with in Lightroom. So this was kind of like a first look. Maybe I will do more videos on 6D later, and maybe if I get my hands on 5D Classic again, I will have maybe more comparisons with the same lens and same settings. I do like the 6D a lot, and it is my plan to keep it, but you know, times are tough, and sometimes I'm forced to sell cameras that I like, and you never know what's gonna happen. 6D is good. That's my that's the summary. You should buy a 6D, probably. I don't know. Actually, buy a camera that you like using. If it's not 6D, then try something else. Anyways, I hope you liked this first look or review of my 6D. If you did like it, then subscribe maybe. I was thinking of starting like a Discord channel dedicated to, well, my channel, but more like older digital cameras, or or more like photography maybe. I mean, we all like cameras, but at the end of the day, it's photography that we like. Comment down below if you would like to be part of this community, and I might make that Discord server. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye.